I'm Isabel. I was volunteered to run Ben Friends a while ago by a lady called Carolyn Blamer who set it up. And Carolyn was a real driving force. And I do it a different way, but the Facebook site is brilliant. Those of you who are on the Facebook site will know what a great group it is for sharing things. And there's a site that Mark was instrumental in setting up for mucous membrane pemphigoid 2, which is also very useful. So I was going to start by telling you a little bit about my story. And I've got a theory, but it's nowhere as clever as all the things you've heard this morning, so please bear with me. So, I started with mucous membrane pemphigoid, I think, about 1993. It started in my mouth, went to my nose, and I got a lot of treatment for allergies, and saw homeopaths and herbalists. And it wasn't until 1994 that it was diagnosed. Can you still hear me? I'm getting to whispering stage. So, I had it in my nose and mouth, as I say. And then I was away on business, and my hands and feet just erupted. So, this is the early stage, but it was so painful. And I lost all the skin on my feet. And that's one of the early stages. So, at that point, they took biopsies and it was diagnosed. And I consider myself very lucky that I was in Amersham and they'd got a great dermatology ward, got fantastic treatment. I was put on steroids, so I think I was on 80 milligrams of prednisolone at the time. And very quickly after that, I developed it in my throat. And my nostrils stuck together. So I've had about 20 or 30 operations on my nose and throat over the last 20 years. Plus a few to take my eyelids out. So it's affected every orifice, I would say. Including a few that aren't supposed to be affected by MMP, but I'll tell you about those in a minute. But there aren't any pictures of those. So, my doctor at Oxford, the dermatologist, is called Dr. Fenning. And I've come at this thing called a Fenning diagram, which, for me, sort of sums up the treatment that I've had over the last 20 years, and where it's been good and where it's not been so good. So that's what I'd like to talk about. Sorry, Richard, you said don't move about, but I'm not very good at not moving about. So this is the Venn diagram, and I think MMP is quite unique. It's very unusual because there's a lot of disease activity, which is the blistering, and there's a lot of things that people talk about, which are the effects of the treatment, the steroids and all the other things. I discovered last week that mycophenolate could cause colitis, which is quite a well-known side effect. So keep coming across different things that are consequences of the disease. But for me, the biggest issue is the lasting consequences. So, my disease activity covers, so let's say mouth, nose, larynx, and it's gone quite well down into my larynx. And the inflammation and the consequence of that, as you can tell my voice. The skin you've seen all points south. My eyes, and I have a big argument with gastroenterology at Oxford because they say it doesn't affect your rectum and colon, and I don't believe a word of it because I think I've seen the blisters when they did the camera of the bum, and I strongly believe that my proctitis is MMP, but I'll is that I think it's probably a result of this and all the other stuff that goes with it. So energy, I find, maybe it's age, but as I'm getting older, energy, and I don't get a lot of moods. I find prednisolone at high doses, I can be quite euphoric, but at times you do get those feelings of I can't do it, and whether that's the drugs or just the disease, I don't know. So there's a lot of impact from the drugs, and it's quite difficult to know which circle these things fall in. But for me, this is the worst bit. So quite often I don't know whether it's blisters or just connection to the blisters. So as you can hear my voice, I've lost it several times during the 20 years. But it's been like this for 4 years now. And that's very frustrating. And it gets in the way of work and social life, and that is a big deal. I get a lot of blepharitis. I have a very good torch, some good tweezers, and I need a third hand to get them all together, because you can't get them all together at the same time. They say your hearing isn't affected, but because of the inflammation down there, my eustachian tubes are blocked. So I now wear a hearing aid, my tinnitus, and my hearing comes and goes. So people say to me, and then I speak and they say I get terrible mucus, which contributes to the problem with my speaking. So I've put it over there. I am not the person you want to sit next to. So I snort and I snuffle and I cough. You'd think I smoke 40 woodbine a day, but my breathing's bad. My energy, which I think might be due to the breathing. My brain's just a bit stewed and addled. I'm losing. I used to wear a very nice leather jacket in my cupboard that I can't wear anymore because I feel as if I'm losing a lot of body mass to this. Confidence, which also relates to the voice, but is that control? I'd love to wear mascara again. You know, wearing makeup just makes the eyes worse. So, the nice thing is I've got quite a bit of hair, but my vanity is quite significantly affected by it. There's all the soreness and all the stuff we know about, and I still get quite a lot of pain from eyes, and when the blisters happen, as they do often in my nose, and the fact that I can't breathe through my nose doesn't help. I've actually had the septum removed in my nose because the nostrils kept sticking together. Don't feel sorry for me. So the problem I have is I go get checkups with all sorts of specialists. So come to here, go to ENT, I go to dermatology, go to gastroenterology. Who else do I say? That's the others. And they look at the disease activity. What blisters have I got? You know, how are they getting on? What's going on? And there's a lot of discussion about that. And people are losing interest. When I first got it, everybody was really interested. But now it's a 6 month run. Tick, tick, tick. Go. So that's when you go to see a doctor, particularly interested in the disease activity, quite a bit in the effects of the treatment, very little in the lasting consequences of the disease. And I actually think Professor Darby is one of the few people who really is interested. And I actually feel, from my own point of view, that's how it